Welcome to MetalVice in 666. I'm one of your hosts, Karen, joined with the other host,
Brian.
And today we're going to talk about the importance of supporting your bands.
Yeah.
Local, international, whatever, every band. This all came about because there's a festival in Madison, Wisconsin that is called Mad with Power.
Yep.
And they've sent out a few things on how to support them and how to help them with the costs on putting on a festival. I think it's a 2-day festival of all power metal bands.
Yeah, we just found out about this last year. I think it's a 2-day festival, as you said, up at the Sylvie Center. At least that's where it was last year and this year, up there in Madison. And it's a power metal festival mixed with like a video game arcade festival.
Yeah.
Which is a really weird concept, and I'm super intrigued by this. And I really, really want to check it out.
Yeah, we can't go this year, but it's on our list of things to check out. So,
and it seems like a small sort of locally grown festival because like their main stuff is done through Facebook pages and whatnot.
Yep. So the thing that kind of caught our eye, and these are the part of the concert aspects or the festival aspects. We'll just say concert as a whole. Is the cost of putting something on, or the promotion costs, and in this case, it is the international band costs.
Yeah, like the business side of things.
Yeah.
People don't really talk too much about that.
No.
I'm really intrigued by the business side of things, and this is one aspect that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah. And by the business aspect, we do mean like booking, the cost behind it, the promoting costs, like all that stuff. We don't necessarily want numbers, but just general it is.
I want to know, and I want numbers.
Well, yeah, but like I don't need to know, but like, oh, this is how much this band makes per show or something.
No,
like
I guess not. I guess not. I think it'd be fun to put on a festival. So knowing that in my head, then it's like, all right, how would I plan? What
just
would
watch
my budget
Firefest.
be? Yeah, just watch. Anyways,
so the whole thing on this is, well, first of all, when we did look into going this year, however, we can't make it work. But one of the things we noticed is they have tickets that you buy that are kind of like the VIP tickets. Like you get a seat and, like the balcony and all that stuff. So one of the things with these tickets is that you can support a band with it. So the way that we read it is you pay for the VIP ticket and then you get your name on something. To say that you're supporting. So that's one way that they're kind of raising more money to be able to support bringing these bands into the festival, and also you get your ticket to see it. So
yeah, and when I first saw that, I was thinking like it's like getting your name on like a promotion, like you do with like Patreons and whatnot. When you subscribe to like a YouTube channel or something, some people do that. So that's what I thought it was. I didn't realize it was helping to sponsor or pay for a band to come over to the States.
That's how I read it. Is
okay,
like to,
so we both
maybe not come over to
different.
the States, but just like supporting the band,
Yeah.
So recently, I can't remember when we got this email.
Just about a week or two ago, not too long ago.
It looks like it was sent out March 25th. But one of the things that they have is how much it costs for a visa to bring an international band into the United States. So they are asking for some help to promote this, and we're not affiliated with this at all. It's just something that we didn't even think about is when international bands come.
Yeah, and I definitely wanted to talk about this because it's, to help this smaller, but seems like a smaller festival and help them thrive and be successful. Because again, I want to go to this next year, possibly.
Like next year or in a couple of years,
Yeah, so I want this to stick around. But yeah, they basically said like, hey, we have a number of bands from overseas or not in the U.S., and we need to help pay for their visa process, their visas. And they go through and they explain like the visa process itself and how it works.
Yeah, so very high level on that. It seems like it's about $4,000 to $5,000 per band.
Per visa.
Visa.
For the application.
For the application and everything. However, you can't start that application until 6 months to the day of the performance.
Yeah, so that's like when you can start it, like the earliest you can submit your visa.
Yeah. There's two areas or two places that they're processed in Vermont and California. Vermont turnaround time is 2 to 3 months, so well within the 6 months.
Yep.
However, the California turnaround time is 10 to 18 months.
So that doesn't even fall in line.
It doesn't fall into the 6 months. So like if you start the process, you don't get to choose where your application goes either.
It's randomly selected,
if it goes to California and it takes 10 to 18 months for your visa to get processed, you're going to miss your show. So
what do you do in the case when it goes to California?
In California, or in that case, you can pay a hefty, or no, just a low price. Sorry, not hefty. It's very low, of $3,000 to get that expedited.
How long does that take?
15 days.
Yeah, see, that's fucking bullshit.
It is bullshit.
This is so extortion. I don't know what the fuck this is. This is
yeah. What I compared it to is that bribe that like you hear a lot, like, oh, you just had to bribe the government officials and they'll do something for you. This is a bribe, just an additional fee. Like it's a bribe. But anyways, so with this whole process, it made us really think about the cost that it takes to put on a show and the importance to support your bands and everything like that. One thing in my mind was sometimes when we see international bands, it does cost a little bit more. Like instead of those $40, $50 tickets, it's $80 tickets.
Sometimes it can be. Yeah,
sometimes. I'm not saying all the time.
No, yeah.
However, sometimes with these festivals, they might have multiple international bands and, your ticket's the same price, $100, $200, whatever it is.
Especially for a festival, for sure.
Yeah.
The one thing I noticed is in the email they did say, like, this is for one show. And it makes me curious about the process then for a band coming for a tour or something. I bet it's just one visa they have to apply for.
But it doesn't say, it just says this for this one show.
Right.
So I think it's these promoters needing to do this for the band.
And then that also brought up the question in my head of like, all right, well, who's actually supposed to cover the visa? And I guess it's supposed to be I would assume it's going to be the promoter or the person putting on the festival that covers it, not the band. And that's probably just written in the contract of like, if you come play my festival, I will cover your visa cost to get here, plus the money it takes on top to pay you to play the show.
Yeah.
Because the promoter wants them there to sell tickets, because that's how they make their money back, is on the tickets and all that. And if they have concessions and merch and all that as well. So, yeah, I don't know. It was really cool to see. Really cool is a weird way to say this. It was
interesting.
It was interesting. Yeah, there's a better way. It was interesting to see this aspect of things that I was unaware of. And again, it just brings into your mind of like all the other festivals out there, even the larger ones, they have to go through the same process, I assume. Yeah. Like you just don't get to skip that process.
Yeah. And some conversations that we've had is there are bands that if they had to pay the extra $3,000, whoop-de-doo. Like, I had to pay $3,000. Like, I'm just thinking, like, really big bands.
Like, Ghost is coming over, and they announced that tour a year ago.
Yeah.
Or a long-ass time ago, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of those ones, like, we know we'll get our visa approved, and we'll just have to eat that cost if we have to.
But it's Ghost. I mean, they're selling $280 tickets.
But that's the thing, right? Like, they can't do that. These smaller bands, these smaller festivals, it's hard to do.
Yeah, that's where I was going to. Like,
gotcha.
Like in our personal conversations, we've talked about that, where it's like some bands can just eat the cost, but like something like this that's a smaller concert or whatever. So it just made me think, like, with the concerts, like, obviously go see international bands here when they come to the States, or internationally if you can travel internationally yourself. But it's just keep supporting them, like buy their merch, buy, we do complain about the ticket prices, but
here's one example of why
they might be higher. Yeah. That was one thing that I was thinking of, is like some of those concerts we've went to are the $80 tickets or something like that. And I'm like, well, maybe that's why it's a little bit different, just because of the cost or whatever. So
it could be one small reason for sure, especially if you're doing a tour.
Yeah.
I doubt that eats into your overhead super, like, a whole lot, but it definitely does eat into it.
It would. Yeah. Like if you do an overall tour, depending on how big a venue you're selling and how many tickets you're selling and all that stuff.
I guess I was thinking more of like Almond Amarth and Ghost when they put on that two show.
Yeah.
Those tickets were outrageously expensive. Yeah. And it's like, they didn't raise it that much to cover Visa.
No. I think that was just Ghost being Ghost. So, but anyways, so, keep supporting your bands, buy their merch, especially the international bands. It sounds like it costs a lot for them to come, just support live music.
Yeah.
Keep going to the shows.
Yeah. Support your band. If you like it, support it, and hopefully it will keep around. Like if you're not there to support it, then
they're not going to be able to come over and play shows. So anyways, keep supporting your bands.
Yeah. We'll see you out there.
Bye.